Alright, so reflection before entering Tamera. If I learned one thing from my geography professor in these last 4 years at university, it's this word of positionality. And basically this word is like, okay, from what position are you looking at something, at people, objects, situations? From which position are you looking at it? And for me it's really important to reflect about this before I go to Tamera, because how did I actually came to this whole eco-village world? 2 years ago I've been invited to a Zoom call where they were presenting the eco-village design education program, which is a program where you can learn about eco-villages and the different dimensions. And when I started to get into this world, I was very amazed about how people can live together in such a way, in this lifestyle of community and togetherness. And I think in the very beginning especially, I kind of idealized everything that I saw. And I still have this part in me that is like, wow, so amazed, especially by Tamera. Tamera is actually, for me, is like after Findhorn, or actually together with Findhorn and Damanu, maybe the most amazing eco-villages that are out there, at least from the perspective of what I could see through media and internet and all of these channels. So that being said, I do come with a position of enthusiasm and awe already in this place, which might make it a bit difficult for me to look at it objectively, but in the end that's really what I want to do. So I want to see the good and the bad, I want to see the ugly and the beauty. I know it's a beautiful day, but I also want to see the shadow that comes at night. And so this is very important for me to say now and to reflect and to state, and also to remember when I'm in there to try and understand both sides, because nothing is perfect, you know? Like no place, no eco-village that I will go will be the perfect eco-village. There will be elements that I love and that I see that function, and there will be elements that I might not like or even hate to see. But so there's this spectrum. There's a spectrum, and I just want to see all of it and not stay stuck in one perspective. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Of course, if along the way you have any questions, or you see that you have any recommendations or constructive criticism or feedback, then please give it to me, because also me as a person, I'm not perfect, far from it. And this is a journey that we do together. I mean, I do it for myself, but I also do it to share and to do it with you. So I would be happy to have this co-creation also in this channel, Captain Lionheart's Journey. Ahoy! One love, respect every time. Bless it up. Rastafari. First signs of life, Tamera. Biotopa de cura. Healing biotope. Here we go. So is it like typical from here?
Yeah,
or?
super typical from here.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Cool.
see you later.
Yeah. Alright, so I had my first contact with two Tamerians, if you can say so. First feeling that I got, well, they were very welcoming. But what I felt inside of me was somehow this, I don't know, I have this sometimes, I think actually with things that I idealize or people that I idealize, I suddenly feel very small. And I had this feeling now. Or actually it was this, because, well, I see them and I feel small in a sense of, ooh, do I actually deserve to be here, and ooh, am I not too much, or how do they perceive me? So I think these thoughts were somewhere laying beneath, and that made me feel a bit like, oh, yeah, like closing up. Although they were very welcoming, you know, so yeah, just want to share this straight from the heart. And here comes the official entry to Tamera, yeah. Yeah! Here we have the sign, the logo, and yeah, giving thanks for Tamera, that I can be here, for this place, for the space, for the people, the beings that are here. Thank you all the plants, the water, the clouds, the sun that shines. Thank you for each and every one being here. Thank you for me allowing myself to come here. And I'm praying now here to get the information that is needed to be in service for humanity, to bring a video and interviews out into the collective that will benefit us all. I'm praying for the highest good of all, and for Tamera and for the ecovillages, for the movement to rise up. With this prayer, sending out love to each and every one here, to all the plants and the beings, seen and unseen. Thank you. Ahoy. Muito obrigado. Alright, so just arrived at the reception. It's only gonna open at 1, but there's a message for people that arrive, which is the visitor guide. And yeah, I feel like reading it to you. So yeah, welcome to Tamera, a peace, education and research community. As an emerging healing biotope, we choose to live with a sacred alliance of life, establishing a social, ecological and economic framework based on cooperation and trust. Alright, so on the second page we have first our vision is, then there's the stone circle, the ethics of free love, ring of power, cultural center, message about drugs and alcohol, vegan, swimming in our neighborhoods, and then there's some more messages about wildfire prevention, medical assistance. There's the map, and yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna read the wildfire prevention, medical assistance, because that's more like on-site things that you need to know. But I think the most interesting for all of you is basically, first of all, the vision. I'm gonna hold the camera like this because you can't read it anyway, because it's too small. So I'm gonna start with our vision. I'm just gonna read it. Are you ready? Yeah. Our vision is to birth Terra Nova, a world beyond war, by building healing biotopes as futuristic centers to research and model a new planetary culture. We offer education and support to people who share our vision of a planetary culture of autonomous and interconnected communities, a post-patriarchal civilization free of violence and war. With our 45 years of experience, we know the importance of the balance of inner and outer peace, work required to encourage change individually, regionally, nationally, and globally. Alright. Yeah, so there are the words of Terra Nova, which is new earth, if I understand it correctly. Terra Nova, Terra is earth, Nova is new. Yeah, building healing biotopes. So this is like typical for Tamera, this word of biotope. Well, it's a word, of course, that exists in biology and geography. But healing biotope, that's unique. Well, I haven't heard it at least anywhere else. And then futuristic centers to research and model a new planetary culture. Alright, so it's about, the way I understand it or interpret it, it's a new culture, that they want to build a new culture which will enhance life on Earth and bring peace between all the beings. Okay, I think if I'm gonna actually read everything, it's gonna be a bit too much, maybe. So maybe I just go over it. And share what I actually feel that is important to share. And then if you have more questions, you can just come back to me. Yeah? Let's do it. Ahoy. Right, coming to values, which are central to establish trust and build community, in their words. Our values are truth and transparency, mutual support, responsible participation, respect and care for the earth and all beings. Alright, next we have the stone circle, which is based on 96 archetypes for diverse peace community, and it is there to create a field of power for new non-violent culture and life on Earth. It's inspired by the 6,000-year-old stone circle, and the way that I interpret it is that this is like a spiritual space, like a kind of a temple, maybe like comparable to Auroville's temple or other places where you go to meditate and to have a sacred moment, to be seeking spiritually. And they also write that you shouldn't, well, there are some guidelines, and the first one is to not go there without having had an introduction by any of the members, and you should, like, also some guidelines to stop in the entrance and connect with yourself, greet the circle, and be receptive for the messages that might come to you. And there are some more things, but I think you can read this when you're here. But knowing that this exists is very interesting in my view, because it's like this space of connection to the divine and to the earth and the stones, and it feels also pretty raw because it's not this typical temple or church, but it's like the elements, it's the stones. And I like that. Alright, coming to the part where probably many of you know Tamera for. It's the ethics of free love. And I must say that I was also very well attracted to understand how this is being done here. So I'm very excited to read this, and I'm just gonna read it, all of it. So when practicing free love and sexuality, we follow these ethical guidelines in our daily lives as an essential part of establishing a field of trust. Love is the greatest cultural treasure of humanity. Healing love means freeing love from fear and violence. Love, including sexual love, is free by its very nature. It is not personal failure that leads to broken relationships and sexual violence, but a societal system based on fear and separation. Our main question isn't what do I get, but how can I contribute to a future society in which violence or abuse can no longer occur. An essential key to healing love and sexuality, which we have discovered in our research, lies in the deprivatizing these universal energies running through us. So sexual energies that flow through us, that they should deprivatize. So it's not mine, my woman, my man, but it's probably something else that we will see. Instead of trying to solve love issues with your partner, we recommend you use your group to share your questions, experiences and desires. Take your time to observe and study the logic of free love before you act. And just a side note on this one, that's what I always thought, because I've been experimenting with polyamory and I got hurt every time. So I think it shouldn't be idealized and it shouldn't be like praised, it should be reflected about. And I also always thought to myself, maybe it's actually better to learn from people that have been in this field for a long time before actually acting it. But then again, you might argue that both ways. Yeah, you might find arguments for both sides, like just trying or learning first. Okay. Yeah, take your time to observe and study the logic of free love before you act. Free love isn't about immediate fulfillment, but about the deepest system change we can imagine. Okay, so they see the correlation between, they see it very much, the correlation between free love, love in general, and the system and society. So I'm switching here between reading and reflecting, okay? Free love isn't about immediate fulfillment, but about the deepest system change we can imagine. Freeing love and sexuality from historical fear. The basis for this system change is to regain the power of conscious reflection and thinking in an area where we are usually steered by our emotions only. Yeah, I mean, it's a big topic, right? Because it's a big topic. I feel like reflecting a bit more. Because there's jealousy, there's fear, all of these, let's say, lower vibrational emotions that can come up. And I think with love it's also this fear of abandonment, which is probably the deepest fear that a human can have. So probably from that point of view it's very beneficial to study this and to go deeper and understand and heal. Because a fear, in my view, is in this sense not helpful. Of course, fear has an intrinsic value because in the past it was just it's a compass. It shows us something that could be a danger. But now in this time, and when we are with people that are conscious and reflected and truthful and transparent in their being, then there's no need for this fear anymore. Okay, I'm just checking how much time we're already here, because it's half of the text. Yeah, but I think it's very important, so I'm gonna keep on reading. Just gonna put on the sunglasses. Alright, sexuality is a sacred life force. A free sexual encounter between two people that desire each other belongs to the beauty of erotic life. You don't have to create a personal love relationship if you want to follow your sexual truth. Sexual pleasure arises from mutual consent. So this word consent is a very important one and will probably come again and again. And without reading further, I think consent is the A and the O of this whole free love thing. Because it's, consent and also transparency. Because if you are with somebody, if you have a partner and you're not transparent with what is happening in your day-to-day life, then fear has a reason to be there. But if you're transparent and the partner knows everything, all your feelings and emotions and thoughts that rise up and attractions, then there's no more need for fear because it's clear. And consent, of course, always asking before doing anything in that realm of sexuality. Yeah, sexual encounters need a clear, genuine yes from both partners. They must never take place against the will of either partner. Please interfere when witnessing abuse. Very nice written. Establish contact with the person you desire. Contact means perceiving and meeting the other with an open heart. Truth and love is the basis of every lasting partnership. That's what I just said, transparency, truth, sharing, communicating, being transparent. This is how trust develops. You don't cheat when you desire another person, but only if you hide your truth from your partner, and that's exactly the important part. That's what I did lately with Carla. So basically I was at the project, there was a person I felt attracted to. I didn't necessarily follow that attraction, because you always have the choice, but I did communicate it with her. And that's what makes her actually feel safe also. Partnership, I'm reading on. Partnership and free sexuality are complementary, not contradictory. Faithfulness belongs to the nature of love. Yet it's also true that you can only be truly faithful if you are allowed to love others too. Aha. Take full responsibility for contraception. Good point. Before entering into a sexual encounter, check with each other what you both need to be safe. Again, it's communicating. Hey, what do you need to be safe in this situation? Ask before you act. For the sake of clarity, please use condoms in any new contact. We offer love spaces available for erotic encounters. Please inform yourself at the reception for more information on where they are and how to use them. Ahoy! This was the section of Ethics of Free Love. I hope the reflections also gave some value to this. And yeah, I mean, I'm very happy to read it, and I think it's very on point and clear. That doesn't mean that I agree on everything directly. But yeah, I think for me right now it's an exploration. So I feel what is written here, most of it. And yeah, I think it's like... Okay, so I just want to, at this point, also share my vision of love and partnership. And what I see is the importance, or what I desire at this point of life, and what I feel that I have and I'm building with Carla, is to have a partnership and build a foundation with this person. Foundation meaning truth, honesty, communicating, being clear, being transparent, and yeah, all of these values, practicing them even when it's hard, because it's hard every time. Because every time we think, oh, if I tell her that I'm attracted to somebody else, well, then maybe she's afraid or whatever. But this is the importance. It takes courage to do it over and over again. And at some point, there's also this culture between you in the partnership. So there can be a culture in a community, in a country, but also in between of individuals in your partnership. And that's what I want to build. And then from that foundation, I want to build on top. So once we know, okay, we are ready and we can go a step further, then we can just talk and be clear. So if I would feel an attraction here, I would do the same. Or at least I'm trying to do the same. Because it's also always about trying your best. You cannot be perfect from the first start. But yeah, so that's my vision. And then when the foundation is strong, then to explore and see, okay, how can we actually go into another sexual encounter, and how do you feel about it? If I would go there, how far can I go? What are your boundaries? Maybe a kiss, maybe a touch. Like, how far can we go? And how far do you feel safe? And do you feel safe with that person in this situation? Yes? Well, it doesn't mean that in the next situation and the next person you feel safe. So it's always checking in again and again and again and again. Yes, ahoy, this is Captain Lionheart, straight from Tamera, Ethics of Love, and with a reflection. And that's it for me now. Bless up your day, bless it up, respect every time. Alright, just some more points. So there's the Ring of Power, we had it. There's vegan sign, there's cultural center, swimming, drugs and alcohol in our neighborhood. And yeah, I think interesting is the part of vegan. So most of our food is organic, seasonal and sourced in the region as part of our work towards regional autonomy. As we strive towards full cooperation with all beings in the field of non-violence, we don't allow any animal products in our main kitchens and no meat or fish at all throughout Tamera. This feels very clear for me, and yeah, I'm happy to read this because it goes hand in hand with, well, being ecological, which doesn't mean that I am fully vegan, but I strive to eat as much vegan as possible. And I think it's the ideal to be striving for, and also to have this as a clear guideline in an eco-village. For me, it feels like a must, actually. Yeah. Right, next point, drugs and alcohol. I'm gonna read. Illegal drugs, including cannabis, are not allowed. Please respect our reputation by following this rule in Tamera and also in our neighborhood. Smoking is permitted in designated outdoor areas only when visitors are vigilant with fire risks. We ask that you're conscious when consuming legal drugs like alcohol, sugar, cigarettes and coffee. Yeah, very great point. I love to see that. It's also clear. They also mentioned reputation because, well, okay, I'm gonna put the reflection on the next point because now there's in our neighborhood. And yeah, here they also write, please respect our local culture by wearing shoes and shirts. Odemira is the nearest town, half an hour drive away. Villanova de Milfontes is a popular beach town, about 40 minutes drive from Tamera, with a magnificent beach and the Atlantic Ocean. And yeah, the thing with drugs and alcohol, I think it's clear and nice that they put it like this. And also the reputation, because people are always skeptical if they see an alternative place like an eco-village. So it's very important to have this relationship with the neighborhood, but also to be aware of reputation, because there's always a reputation as an individual or as a community or as a collective. It's just something that humans do. We put each other in boxes if we want it or not. And so being aware of that and respecting this guideline, and well, this is a rule, respecting this rule is crucial. There's the point of swimming. So visitors can swim in our grey lake near the terrace on the campus, and the big lake that you've seen on many pictures is a protected nature area, so they ask you not to swim in except for children and people accompanying them. Next point and last point that I'm going to mention now is the cultural center, where they have an open cafe several days a week, and the bar is open most evenings. There they are hosting, well, there we also host different cultural events like political cafes, networking events and celebrations. Alright, here's the map, and on the map there's place of the children, guest house, campus, aula, auditorium, cultural center, stone circle, health center, solar village and Institute for Global Peace Work. We're probably going to see all of those tomorrow in the guided tour, so I'm not going to speak more about it. Yeah, just want to share this straight from the heart. Captain Lionheart.